We are now on to our silver medal topics. We organize them bronze, silver, and gold. So these are what we consider the second biggest stories of the week. So, Niles, start us off on the silver. What's your silver medal podium topic?
It's big baller time, baby. It's big baller time.
Shouldn't have started with you.
Man, triple B's, baby. Lavar Ball saying F the NCAA starts his own league with Lonzo, his oldest son, is the logo? Like this dude, I mean, he's just doing whatever he wants. It's called the JBA, the Junior Basketball Association, and basically it's giving top seniors that have graduated high school the opportunity to be paid to play, and they can brand themselves, make money off their own likeness. Players will make anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 a month for like an 8-month period, and so he's doing his own league for these players that don't feel that are gonna for the those few players that could possibly go one and done, and what's the point of going to school? Where if you do get paid, it's illegally. Why not get paid and do it the legal way? And do this new thing that they're going to be playing in 5 different major cities. I think Atlanta and LA are 2 of those cities. And so, yeah, he's doing his own thing. Big Baller Brand is sponsoring the league with the shoes, the jersey, everything. I'm pretty sure they're going to be working on some kind of TV or streaming deal. The Ball family already has a show on Facebook. And Facebook is now monetized their content with advertisements. So this could be something where these games, I think he said 8 teams, these games could be live streamed on Facebook. So it's just, I don't know. It could really be something well done if done right. And he hasn't really messed up yet. So I'm interested to see what's gonna happen, because you have these guys like, look at Bagley for Duke. Did he really need that 1 year at Duke? He could be playing on the Magic or the Bobcats right now. The dude's amazing. And it's just like, there's multiple guys like that. There's guys, I feel like that could take this gap year instead of going to college and, hey, no, why not get paid and I can actually, sell shirts with my name on it and stuff like that. Just little things like that. Why not?
Well, I think all 3 of us agree that the 1 year between high school and professional, it's ridiculous. I think it's unconstitutional.
Ben Simmons did a whole documentary
saying you can't you don't have the opportunity to have access to a job. It's actually pretty un-American the way we set it up. But aside from that, let's just look at the league itself. Russell, what do you think of this first? Because I feel like I'm going to be counter to both of you on this one.
I think, I understand LeVar Ball's mindset a little bit more than a lot of other people do as far as madness. Still don't agree with some of his methods sometimes and how he does things, but I've always seen past the braggadocious ego nature, and I've always understood at least what the goal was in this whole thing. And he's really good. So I think this does have a chance to be successful if, like Niles said, if they do it right. I don't know how about, just because I haven't seen it done before. And most leagues that we know of and that are successful have been around. And I think there's logistics to be ironed out as far as students wanting to put themselves, I guess there's a little bit of risk involved. You can go over there, you can play, you can get hurt, but you can play in these AAU tournaments and get hurt. You can play in these showcases. That's the same thing, but you're getting paid. And I think I always tell student athletes, never put a cap on your earning potential. So down for it if it's right and athletes are developing and basketball players are developing, and we're getting better product when they get to the NBA.
Well, I think you put it pretty well. Never put a cap on your earning potential. And what is the salary per year? Didn't you say it was like $120,000 per year?
Some players will make 10,000. Like the best players make 10. It's a scale from 3 to 10,000.
So, at maximum, you can make $120,000 a year.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
Okay, players, yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I know most college players in basketball. I know the top ones. They're getting more than $120,000 a year. You think Marvin Bagley isn't secretly getting over $120,000 a year from Duke?
He could be.
And so I'm a little more cynical about this. Like I don't hate on LeVar Ball for the attempt, but I feel like it's just everything is scaled for him to make money, whereas I don't feel like the motivation for the players is good enough because of the the low cap of money. And you're saying like to me advertising and promotion is going to be one of the biggest issues with this league. Can you get advertisers to buy into this? Yeah. Because you're saying, oh, they got the big baller brand to sponsor it. Wow, how did they get that sponsorship?
Well, no,
that's impressive.
That's why wouldn't you do? It's just like Jordan having the Jordan brand on the shirt.
I know, but it's
you
more like
want somebody else to come and do it for you.
I'm more dubious of the advertisers buying in and making the pie bigger for the players so that they can make more than $120,000.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably why he set it at the $120,000 because that's where the level they're at right now with whatever they have. Because why would you set a salary if you couldn't pay it? So I'm pretty sure they're shooting low right now, whereas they look to aim higher in the next 3 to 4 years.
I think in the end, the idea of a league outside of the NCAA system is not a terrible idea at all. And I admire him for thinking outside the box. My one issue with it is I feel like, just like the NCAA or anyone else would do, he's kind of setting the scales to where he's making more money off.
He's starting it.
Well, I know, but that's like that's what that's the guys who made the NCAA would say. But we started it. We should get the money.
That's the thing. Those guys, if they're like you said, if Bagley's getting paid, that's illegal.
Yeah, this is America. We do illegal stuff on top of.
But does that make it okay? And when you see, and it's just like I see the stigma of black athletes that do accept these gifts and these things like that. Like, look at Reggie Bush. Like, the respect for him and, like, his aura, like, his image, all those kind of things was tarnished by this whole USC allegation thing. Look at Pete Carroll. He's fine. Mm-hmm. And no one talks about Pete Carroll like they talk about Reggie Bush. And so, like, as a black athlete, to have a lane where you can stay away from potentially getting in trouble for taking illegal things and all that kind of stuff, you keep that respect, you keep that, that image that you had is not going to be tarnished because, okay, you're getting paid, but I'm getting paid legally. This is upfront, and you know what's happening. Whereas in the NCAA, I know guys that have gotten paid, like, under the table, and it's just like, if they would have got caught, think of what their communities are going to say about them and think about them. And, like, the ESPN spares no detail when they put these controversies and recruiting allegations and all these things on TV. And so for a lot of athletes, it hurts their image. And I think the JBA is a good way of letting these guys capitalize on who they are. So. What you saying?
Are you going to go ahead, Russell?
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say, I think the one thing that we talk about a lot, often on this show, NCAA is $1 billion machine. Right? So if you think about anything that's good or to compete with that, people are going to say, well, college, education, they're at these fine schools, they're going to go to the league anyway. But at the same time, it's just like, I have to try something else. Especially if you're not going to want to go. If you're wasting somebody else's spot in class. Like, why send athletes to these class if they're only going to go for a year? And when in the NBA, players, they get, business classes, different classes or courses that'll help them better transition into life as an adult with money, as opposed to a psychology use or a humanities class that they won't use. Yeah. And I think it's a lot better, especially if they do it like that and educate guys on economic, how money works and how to put
which they said that's what
saving and budgeting
and doing
and things that come after your life start to get paid money because you're a totally different person.
Yeah.
You're not some broke dude on the block. You're the dude with money that everybody wants to be.
Exactly.
So I think that's a transition that a lot of guys don't know how to make.
Exactly.
So much money after getting into the. I think if you do that right, that's some of the things that Lavar can implement. That's.
And that's the thing. He has a son.
Just because I want the best for these guys, but it's, who knows?
Right. How many presidents and commissioners of leagues have a son that actually has made that jump? That he can say, yeah, we know these kind of people will come and talk to you. Stay away from this. He's actually going through that with his son, And so I feel like he has a cool insight on this world of basketball that other people that would start a league or be the president or commissioner of a league don't have.
But I could also play devil's advocate and say maybe he's creating this league because he knows the Lithuania experiment is going to be terrible and he needs an escape hatch for the fact that his two kids are not going to have any place to play soon.
If this is the plan B, it's a pretty damn good plan.
But the thing that did convince me with what you said, and I do like this argument, is what I was saying was under the table, you're going to make more money.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, well, if they're actually being paid a salary that's legal, it's not under the table, and then maybe if this league grows to the point where you can get endorsement deals, and then you can add on top of the salary, then I could see the argument. I'm just saying at the moment, with the terms that are negotiated, the first generation of people who play in this league are not going to be really making enough money for there enough to be an incentive to go away from the traditional college system where you get paid under the table.
It's going to take some time, and that's what no league has ever started just like that. And don't think it's gonna take some time, but I see it being successful over time. I'd say give it 5 years.
I do enjoy the prospect of it, and it's something that there's like the D League, they call it the G League now because it's sponsored by Gatorade, but they have this development league, and I think that this could be a good stepping stone to the development league, to the thing. But my issue again is. Yeah. I feel like there are conflicting interests with LeVar Ball, and there isn't a lot of oversight with him. It just kind of stops at him. So there's a lot of potential for.
And then we don't know who he's working with too. That's behind him putting this together. He could have former.
He's talked about it on many interviews that most of the business dealings is done by his cousin or
his cousin and his brother.
Yeah, and so. It's obviously not just him, but it's still a close-knit group that doesn't have a lot of oversight or supervision.
Yeah.
And so you always worry about that, and in the end, owners versus workers' rights, you're going to still have a lot of the same conflicts that you have in the NFL, the NBA.
I mean, of course.
But I feel like you do make a good point. He might have more empathy for his workforce compared to the other people because he has a son who is in that similar style of workforce.
Right.
But I just feel like at the moment the league itself has a lot of work to do. But unlike most of the things I say with LeVar Ball, I will say this: I do like the idea and the intent. I'm not sure about the execution, but this is a good step up for me in LeVar Ball because usually I'll say I don't like the idea, I don't like the intent. So
yeah, we'll see.
I actually enjoy this idea. So I don't mind it. I worry for its future and for the people who play in it because they might not get what they could be getting in college. But if it's something that builds to something, then those kids who take the first step, they should really be given a round of applause because they're going to build something for kids down the road.
Yeah, and what if honestly all it does is scare the NCAA into paying athletes? I feel like if it even does that,
that's the other thing. The competition to take away the monopoly is never bad, but you worry that it's just going to be another monopoly, but separate, and you don't want that.
Right.
But I think the one of the most convincing things you said is that it's not under the table, and it allows them to do more legal things, including endorsements.
Yeah, look at this dude, Michael Porter. He would be like the number one if he hadn't got hurt. You telling me if that kid doesn't go to Missouri and he plays in this league, Nike's not calling him up with a shoe deal right then? Why wouldn't they?
But here's the conflicting interest of that. His dad also gets a job from Missouri because that now is part of the deal.
Right.
So now there's two people getting paid as opposed to one, and this is where the college system has an advantage. And that's something LeVar Ball could do. Hey, your dad could be a coach on the team. Who cares?
Yeah.
If he starts making moves like that, it's going to get really interesting, like how the ABA was taking players from the NBA.
Yeah, but especially if Nike and Adidas really get working with a lot, talking to him about this, because I already see them sign. They signed D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns to shoe deals before the draft. So, and I'm just like, they were solid draft picks before they even put their college jerseys on. You telling me these companies already don't know who they want to sign to deals? So I'm just like, they could be playing in this league. Okay, yeah, you're only making $8,000 a month, but you just signed a $10 million deal with Nike out of high school, and you can do that because you're a professional athlete that owns their own likeness. The NCAA can't offer you that. So it'll be interesting. It's just gonna be interesting to see. It'll see like who they work with, what they do. I just feel like the possibilities are kind of endless with it. So I'm excited. I think it's summer 2018.
Yeah, but in the end, what this could lead to, which is the most important aspect of this, is the elimination of that 1 year gap between high school and professional.
Yeah.
And it's, just to go over it really quickly, it is something that is unconstitutional. You're telling an 18-year-old who is an adult, you can vote on the presidency, you can go to war, but you can't choose to enter a workforce at your own risk, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not saying you're guaranteed to be picked at all.
Yeah.
They're saying you are taking the risk to go in at high school and not be seasoned and not build up your draft potential. But that's the risk you take. And it's so anti-American and against everything we set up by saying you have to do it this way. There's a lot of people who scream socialism on a lot of other stuff, but this is truly socialistic, how we do it. But I do think it's funny that Lonzo Ball is the logo.
It's dope as hell.
I wish it could have been like Jello getting a steal, sunglasses putting them on, and that's the logo.
Yeah, man. They it'd be funny if they came out with like some big baller like sunglasses, the Jellos. They need to do it. I'd buy some just for principle.
And then the joke is like you get a 5-finger discount on it.
Right, yeah. Hey, Lamar, we selling you marketing plans, bro.
Do you have anything else to say, Russell, or you just want to shake your head at the idiot comedians?
Russell,
Idiot comedian.
Russell, no, he team BBB. I'll get you a shot.
Right.
I'm gonna get you a shot.
We've been team Triple B for a while now.
I'm team Triple B's, baby.
I thought you were team BBW.
Hey, chill. We're not gonna talk about that. That's my outside life. We're not gonna talk about that.